Welcome to another episode of From Our Mother's Basement, the show where we talk about everything geek, whether it be anime, manga, comics, movies, tech, you name it. I'm Jason, and actually Michael and both Nikki are going to be missing this episode. They're actually on their way home. They had a couple things to take care of this weekend. They hopefully had some really good news for us for next week, so here's hoping. I'll hit them up when they get home in about 3 or 4 hours and see what the good news is. Hopefully we'll get some exclusive or something like that out of there, but probably not, but, it's always worth hoping for. So it's just me for this episode, but that's just fine because we're going to, go through a bunch of different topics. Let's start off with, let's talk about the apparent apocalypse, the upcoming apocalypse that just started among us. And by that, I know I don't mean what happened on My Little Pony this week, where Pinkie Pie decided to clone herself a few dozen, 100,000 times. Yeah. It got crazy. If those of you actually watched it, you're wondering, oh, God, a girl like that multiplied? Yeah, that's the end of the world. No, I'm talking about the parent Snackopalypse that's going on. Of course, many of you have heard that, Hostess, because they had a fight with their union about a possible strike and how they cannot afford to weather another union strike, that they would shut down indefinitely. Well, they did. And so 18,500 workers are now out of a job. And because of this, people are freaking out. They want their favorite snacks. I mean, these things, which have always been known to, or have always been rumored to say that after the apocalypse happens, these will be the only things that will be edible afterwards. They will survive the apocalypse and you can live off of them. Yeah, no. People are going freaking crazy over this. I mean, one of the reasons why they're, they can't weather this strike is because their sales have been down for so long. People love Hostess, snacks, but they don't buy them all that often. Now the fact that they're shutting down, people are going apeshit and trying to find and buy as many as they can. I mean, this is a common view everywhere you can find. I went to my local store, and the section where all the Hostess snacks would be, it's cleared out. I actually went to find someone who worked there and asked them, hey, is you going to get any back? And they said they might get one more shipment. They're not sure when. And they're possibly thinking about putting a lottery together to actually distribute them. A lottery for snack cakes. Okay. And leave it be to the humble American people to try to capitalize on this. Like this thing I found on eBay today. A truckload of Twinkies, 1,100 boxes of 10. So you have 11,000 Twinkies for $88,000. This is apparently a legit thing you can find on eBay. They will ship it, basically drive that truck to your location from the factory. And yeah, someone said in the chat, yeah. As George Takei posted on Facebook, weed was legalized in 2 states. And shortly thereafter, Hostess goes out of business. Planned? I think not. No. I just find it funny as hell that all this stuff is happening. People are going crazy for this. I can't remember the last time I had a Twinkie or a cupcake or anything like that. Am I going to pick one up if I find one? Maybe. Am I going to stress if I don't? No. And here's the reason. Hostess has already announced they're going to be selling off the brands, which means your favorite snacks, which apparently you love but never buy, will still be available by some other company. Hell, if it wasn't for that notice, you could still get Twinkies and whatnot. Why? Because there are companies in Canada and other countries of the world that actually have the license to the Hostess brand and their subsequent snacks, and they're still making them. So, I mean, yes, you'll have to import them, but you could still get them. I still find this funny as hell. When people are paying, on average of I think on eBay, $60 for a box of 10. What happened when they were 25 cents? Well, you can go to the Hostess store where they sold, their bread and their products, and I remember going there every Sunday and picking up one item, like a fruitcake or something like that. And it's now they're completely empty, it's, another recession. Oh well, people are dumb. Although, I will say, I will do this in memorandum of Hostess losing, or Hostess going out of business. This is mostly not for the snacks. This is not for the people who claim that they're their favorite snack brand. This is, It's just an homage to how Twinkie has gotten into our social culture so much.
Rule number 32. Enjoy the little things. Tallahassee got his Twinkie. And even though life would never be simple or innocent again, as he savored that spongy yellow log of cream, we had hope. We had each other. And without other people, well, you might as well be a zombie.
Gotta love Zombieland. I want to find from like Netflix or any of those other companies out there that I want to see how big of a jump that rentals of Zombieland actually rose since the announcement of Hostess going down. I'm sure it's a significant jump. But let's jump on to some, actual news I'm sure you care for. Doctor Who. I've been a big Doctor Who fan. To be honest, I didn't start liking Doctor Who until the revival with Eccleston. So I went back and actually watched, Tom Baker, and I watched some of the previous, Doctors back in the day. But it's funny that ever since, not since Tennant, but more since Matt Smith took over the spot as the 11th Doctor, that BBC has been pushing the Doctor Who brand so hard in the United States, and it's catching on quick. I mean, there are people who, I'll go to a con, and people are dressing up as, the Doctor in any of the different 11 forms. And there are some people saying, "Oh, you're the Doctor. How long have you been watching?" "Oh, only about like 6 months." And I'm like, "Okay, well, fan is a fan. It's pretty awesome." I'm really hoping to get into the Gallifrey, the huge Doctor Who con that hits in it's in LA every single year. Tickets are already sold out, so I'm trying to get like a press pass or something so I can go, check out the chaos that is Gallifrey 1. But if not, there's still a ton of stuff you can find online. If you just Google Gallifrey 1, you can find, panels and cosplay outfits and events, and it's huge. They get so many people. Like Anime Expo gets maybe 20, maybe 21 guests. Gallifrey gets like 50. It's absolutely crazy. But when I'm talking about Doctor Who, or why I'm bringing it up, is because season 7 premiere is with the usual Christmas episode, and a lot of people got confused real quick when they started showing the trailer, which they're calling The Great Detective, because it features the new companion, who was also in a previous episode of season 6, who turned into a Dalek, who, yeah. Well, to help promote it, they actually released what they're calling a mini-sode. Gives you an idea of what to expect from the Doctor and his mind state before the episode starts on Christmas. A little just about it, because, the loss of Rory and Amy Pond struck the Doctor so hard that he basically retires. And you find him now in, old school London, and he's like a crotchety old guy. And I'm like, wait a minute, this could be interesting. But they created this video. It's about 4 minutes long. It's enjoyable. And if you're a Doctor Who fan, you're going to absolutely blow your mind when this episode comes out. So enjoy. Damn moon. I mean, just the little Minnesota alone is just... Yeah, I mean, it already captures the humor you would expect from Doctor Who. You already have the slew of characters and all the different races. Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, it happens on Christmas. And the thing is, every Christmas there's always, the Doctor Who Christmas special. And usually starting sometime in January is when, the actual season starts. But this year, I mean, there's actually a bunch of really good movies that are going to come out on Christmas. I mean, there are always movies that come out during Christmas, but this year there's actually a good number of movies that I personally want to see. So I'm kind of like, do I go with family like I normally do, or I go, I'm sick and I go out to the movie theater? I don't know. I'll figure out something. Alright, yeah, so that's coming out on Christmas. It is the classic Christmas special for Doctor Who. All right, let's talk, because we can apparently not go a single episode without talking about them. Disney. Um, Disney has, as you know, has been on this kick of turning every single ride they have in their theme parks into some sort of movie franchise. They had the really bad haunted house one, the overly milked Pirates of the Caribbean, which I believe there's a fifth and sixth one that's still in pre-production. They're not going to stop them. There is going to be an upcoming movie based on what is it? About the Matterhorn. No word yet about something's going to happen to Space Mountain. I guess you could say at this point that they already have movies for Star Tours, but that kind of just sad there. Now they're going to make a TV drama series based off one of their other rides. And this ride I like to refer to as the ride I go on when the line for Space Mountain is just way too long. And I'm talking about Big Thunder Mountain. They are going to make a drama series about Big Thunder Mountain. And here's my thing about this. Unlike their other outings in terms of making these rides into movie franchises, each of those rides have had unique characters or storyline that you can actually, use as a basis to create something. What story is there for Big Thunder Mountain? I mean, there's goats that bought you. There's an out of control train, and that's about it. Oh, maybe there's at the end the dinosaur bones. How would they write that into a series about Old West and out of control train? And I don't know. It's gonna be, let's just say, unique. They've already signed on the Chris Morgan. He's the writer and executive producer of the Fast and Furious movies. So you're expecting high action on a train. I mean, how many times can a train derail? How many times can a train go out of control in a movie? You can probably do it once and make it really big, but in a TV show, I don't even know. I mean, the thing is, this is not the last one. The other bit of news I came across is that Disney is actually working on an adaptation of The Jungle Cruise for a movie. As long as they enter the backside of water joke somewhere, I'll watch it. Sega fan in the chat goes, "Hey, look what happened to Battleship. Disney can make up something." Yeah, okay, that's true. Although if they do Big Thunder Mountain and also they go aliens, then yeah, no, it's just gonna fail. Stick with Pixar, stick with Lucasfilm, and just go from there. Speaking of movies that may or may not, or that should or should not have been made, or are in the works to be made, Arnold Schwarzenegger, ever since he left office as governor of California, he's been busy trying to get back into his movie career. In Expendables 2, and then he recently announced he's doing a continuation of the Conan movies, which, man, those were just cheesy as all hell. But he's recently announced he's working on a sequel to one of his other, shall we say, classic movies. This is one of his comedies. No, this is not Kindergarten Cop. This is I'm just going to show the picture. He's making a sequel to Twins. Why? Why? Dear God, why? It's called, supposedly, Triplets. And yes, that actually, Schwarzenegger's a part of it. They've already signed Danny DeVito to reprise his role. The third character, if you didn't notice, Eddie Murphy. Yeah, he's signed on to be the third brother that they have. And I'm sitting there going, what? Their only beef with this is that how it's going to be written, who's going to write it and whatnot. Well, they've already signed on the two stars of Book of Mormon to make this. Now, the whole thing with Book of Mormon, from the Curse of South Park, that it was funny because the original content was just so absurd. So they were able to make a musical out of it and make it very funny. Twins wasn't really all that funny to begin with, and to try to add Eddie Murphy into that, and I mean these guys, they're all over 50, probably pushing 60. I'm looking at this and going, oh well. I mean, the only movie that I've heard that's, you know, a continuation of a classic series that might be good, quote emphasis on the might, is Ghostbusters 3. And that'll only be good if they actually bring back the entire original cast, which I hear probably won't happen. So, yeah. So, yeah. Twins is getting a trailer for a sequel called Triplets with their African-American brother, Eddie Murphy. I'm just waiting for an announcement of like a sequel to Junior or any of those other really bad Schwarzenegger movies. Alright. For you fans of HBO's Game of Thrones, there's a certain image that was popped up recently online that I think you would probably enjoy. I'm just going to put up there for a little bit. Yep, there's a date. And you know what that means. And that's all we're going to talk about it. Because I haven't seen the last 2 episodes of Season 2, so yeah, I'm behind on that. Okay, let's talk about a couple of TV series that I've been watching recently. They're actually from the UK. I've been a big fan recently of the UK panel shows. What I mean by that is you have a host, you have 3 to 4 guests, which consist of celebrities, comedians, politicians, you name it. And then they go through either like the weekly news topics, or just interesting facts, and then they just make an hour out of it where they crack jokes and you have fun with it. The 2 that I've been watching, the first one's called Quite Interesting, which is hosted by Stephen Fry. Now it's 10th season, and it is so much fun. I love that show, and it's actually a show that quantifies the phrase edutainment. You learn stuff without feeling like it's being forced down your freaking throat, and it's entertaining as all hell. The other one is called Have I Got News for You? And that's focused more just on like the weekly news and politics and a little bit on the pop culture news as well. A few years ago, NBC tried to bring that series stateside. They created a pilot episode. I've seen a little bit of it, and they just got it all wrong. The problem is, I find, is that like with NBC's other attempt to bring another UK show over here, which was a very personal favorite, the IT Crowd, is you can't take the original and then completely change it to what you think a modern American young hip audience will like. It doesn't work like that. You take the classic bits of that, what made that series or that show so special, and then you keep those, you move them over, and then you add little bits to it. You don't really need to expand beyond that. What's interesting in the IT Crowd's position is that when they brought it over, they kept one of the original cast members, Richard Ayoade. Love that guy. And the thing is, when the other people that they brought in to replace the other characters, they literally stole jokes verbatim. They rarely changed anything, but the thing is, they changed the way they phrased them, and because of that, it just failed. It absolutely failed. It never went anywhere. But going back to Have I Got News for You, TBS, and thank God for TBS, they're actually gonna give this a shot. They've announced that they're working on bringing a U.S. version of Have I Got News for You stateside. They apparently already have a pilot already filmed. It's already in the can, and it's going to be shown to a number of just audiences across the country to try to get an idea, feel what's going to happen with it. Apparently, the host was comedian Sam Cedar. Never heard of him, and they had a couple different other people come on. I'm really hoping this actually comes over, because I really enjoy British comedy. I really enjoy the style of these UK panel programs, and to see something like that, which I guess you could say is maybe a little a little heady, for lack of a better phrase. Bringing those stateside might be a good thing. I mean, it'll be good to let the American audience know that the BBC consists of more than just Top Gear and Doctor Who. So the moment that actually gets brought over, the moment it gets announced somewhere on TBS or even just online, I will definitely let you guys know so you guys can check it out. Now, if you guys want to check out the original BBC version of both Quite Interesting and Have I Got News for You, it's not officially over here, but I will say this. Search on YouTube. Every single episode's on there, and that's the way I've been watching. All right. Shall we talk about comics? No, before we talk about comics, I'm going to show you a trailer of a movie that just hit my radar yesterday. The trailer itself came out 2 days ago, and I didn't catch it on the first day. Yeah, I'm just going to play it. It's called Now You See Me, and we'll talk a little bit about it afterwards. That is Now You See Me. Basically, they pick a bunch of musicians and they put on a bank heist in front of a live audience. And I look at it and I like the premise. I love the cast they have for this. I mean, anything that you have Freeman, Michael Caine, and then you throw in the other people, like Mark Ruffalo as the cop actually going after the magicians. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a stellar cast, and it's going to be a fun ride. My only fear is that the whole magic part of it is going to be so superficial. I mean, already in just that, in that scene, you saw a bunch of CG drapes flying amidst the air. If they would have found a way to make something look similar to that, but actually in reality using actual curtains and whatnot, it'd make it a lot more believable, not only for the imaginary audience in the theater, but for me watching it. I mean, it's like, okay, I want to see the ability to almost have a chance of figuring out how it's feasibly possible for this to actually work out. But if they turn around and go, magic and alien technology, I'll be like, and I'm gone. I'll walk out of the theater. If they pull an Ocean's 11 where they show bits and pieces of how it could possibly work in real life, I would be a part of this. You know, I'd be there day one. But if it turns out to be, hey, we found some ancient technology that allows us to transport anywhere in the world, and we're going to use that to rob banks, then I'm lost. I'd have no attachment to it, because now I know that that's impossible to happen in real life. Therefore, yeah, that's it. But that's just me. Let's talk about some comics real quick. And let's talk about Ghostbusters. Now, I'm not talking about the cartoon. I'm not talking about the possible upcoming third movie. I'm talking about the comic series by IDW. I've caught some of the previous, Ghostbusters stuff. With this one, which is called The New Ghostbusters, real original, they have a whole new slew of recruits. I mean, okay, let me give you a shot. Here's the 4 characters, and I'll zoom in on them. I mean, you have the top 2 right here. The guy on the left looks like a deranged Go-Go Gadget with his or with Inspector Gadget with his hairstyle and his hat. And then with the other 2 down here at the bottom, you have almost your typical goth girl and your somewhat model type character, I guess. I don't know. I look at this and I'm like, who knows? Now, the first 4 issues of the new Ghostbusters storyline will feature these 4 covers. And beyond that, they haven't really said much. Sorry about that. Maybe they'll start trying to introduce not only some of the classic characters, but also some of the people they had from the original cartoon series, which expanded the cast significantly, if you guys remember that. Or even, I really hope they don't go the path of the 97 series, which was, I think, Extreme Ghostbusters, and that was just dumb. Again, it's one of those, take a classic, take what makes that good, and if you have to add a little bit to it, go ahead, but keep that original formula. This, we'll see. The art style, I'll probably pick up an issue or 2, but to continue beyond that, who knows. Real quick, for those of you who follow comics, Cable's back. how and okay, timey-wimey stuff. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Yeah, Cable is back in his own series called Cable and X-Force. I wonder if Deadpool will make an appearance somewhere. What's interesting about this story so far is that it starts off with Cable and his crew. They're in a factory filled with dead bodies and surrounded by the Uncanny Avengers, and him and his crew are wanted for murder. And so you have them trying to handle this so-called one last job while trying to survive with their lives. And then it takes the following like 3 or 4 issues to explain what the hell happened. That's a way to get me interested. I mean, I was already a big fan of Cable before, especially the Cable and Deadpool days. And now that they're pulling this kind of whole thing where they're on the lam and you kind of find out as you go along what actually happened, I'm considered interested. I'll check it out when it comes out. It comes out, I want to say February? I can't remember too much. I'll have to actually ask Nikki because I know she's, the comic expert amongst the From Mother's Basement crew, so maybe she'll have more information than that. But that looks very interesting. I recommend you guys checking it out. If you guys want a shot of it, it's shot right there. It looks a little more... I can't say retro futuristic. It's a very different take on Cable's design than from, classic styles. It could be cool. It could be not. Who knows? I want to talk finally about comics about Snick. This is going to be epic. Yes, it's another Wolverine comic. But here's the catch, though, is who's actually a part of it. It's amazing. Let's start off with Paul Cornell. Cornell has a big career. He started off with Marvel, working on Captain Britain, MI-13, and a bunch of others before he jumped over to DC. And he hit a bunch of stuff over there and, was heavily regarded as one of the best in the business. He has now come back to Marvel to work, and this is his first work from coming back to Marvel. A new Wolverine bit. And then you have Davis. You have Alan Davis. I mean, this guy, he's a legend when it comes to Marvel Comics. He has literally drawn every single Marvel character to date in one form or another. So to have that breadth of knowledge and talent, and then you bring these two together to create a Wolverine comic, yeah, this thing comes out in March. I will be there day and date of that issue 1 and to pick it up. So that's all this small bit of news I want to talk about for comics. Let's talk a little bit about some anime and video game stuff to wrap things up. Remember last week we were talking about the Victoria's Secret model who actually, let's just say, emulated or gave homage, let's say, to Evangelion. Yeah, I was personally thinking, okay, this is going to be some sort of deal with Victoria's Secret and Gainax, or I forget the company who's actually making the Ava movies now, to a slight promotion for the movies. No, actually, that's the crazy thing. Gainax was actually contacted for a comment about, was this actually part of your guys' plan, or you guys even were aware of this beforehand? They said no. We found out after it happened. So they're claiming they have no connection to this whatsoever, and they're quote unquote perplexed by the situation. I'd be kind of perplexed too if I was halfway across the world and watched some model in an outfit that I designed 20 years ago that's coming out in a brand new movie, and they didn't hit us up beforehand. Is this going to turn into some sort of legal lawsuit? Probably not. But I just found it interesting that at least when Gainax was initially contacted, they said, yeah, we didn't find out about this until people told us about it. So maybe there is just hope in the fashion world after all. There's actually anime fans out there who actually, I mean, yes, there are because there's cosplayers. But at the level that you can get someone to model your stuff on a Victoria's Secret show, that's kind of cool. So I give props to them on that. Jesse says, you mean stole. Let's just say homage for right now until the legal battle starts. Okay. a little while ago, let's say about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started talking to you guys about, as part of Macross's 30th anniversary, they're going to come out with a game called Macross 30. In September, they released a trailer that showed nothing that regarded to the game. It showed characters, it showed planes. It didn't show jack about what happens in the game, didn't tell us the story, didn't tell us anything. Well, they gave us a little more information today. Starting with the title, which is going to be Macross 30, The Voice That Connects the Galaxy. This is going to be a PS3 mecha RPG. We already know a ton of the characters are going to be in it. They're going to focus, a lot on the relationship side, of course, the love triangles you have from Macross Frontier and whatnot. We also have information on the limited edition. I'll get to that in a moment. But more importantly, they finally released screenshots of the game in action. And I gotta say, from playing previous Macross games, this looks gorgeous. This looks absolutely stunning. And everything that I found on online states that these are actual in-game, and these are some of the shots from some of the characters that actually will appear in the series as well. I'm looking at this and going, oh, this, yeah, I need this in a bad way. I mean, I always use the phrase when I'm talking to my friends, Macross missiles, which is I use anytime you watch a series and there's more than 5 missiles on the screen at any given point and they're all going freaking crazy. I call that Macross missiles. And you get Macross missiles in this game. And of course you get, the characters, like I said, there's the love triangle right there. And yeah, not sure what's going on there. Not sure why Ronka is so afraid right now, but we'll find out. And of course, they had to put a classic shot in there. I mean, that's wallpaper worthy right there. So, I mean, if you guys want links to this, it's on Crunchyroll. They have, I think high-res shots of these. So, yeah, and Nicer, you're right. There was a SDF in the background of one of the first ones. Yes. Now let's get to the information about the actual limited edition. There it is. Oh, that's so pretty. What this includes, and actually it's a decent amount. First up, a 30th anniversary booklet. You have a character and mecha art book from the not only just the franchise but just from the game. A set of event and campaign posters, so you have to throw on your walls. You have layout pictures, basically background shots that are also be good to put up on your walls. A copy of the game for the PS3. The box art is actually designed by people who've actually worked on it in the past. So it's like, okay, you're bringing all of this together, and it looks amazing. If you guys get the first print edition, which I may have to jump on, you also include a 90-minute voice actor interview, a compilation of all the in-game CG movies, and a code for the special YF29 model in-game. This all is released February 28th. Not too far from in the future to actually for this to come out. I'm so looking forward to it. It looks amazing. Everything that comes in the package, yeah, I kind of need to get. And by then, I should be able to save up enough from buying all the Christmas gifts so I can buy some for myself. It is going to be a little bit pricey, though. Retail value is 11,800 yen. So about 145, 150 bucks US, not including shipping. So if you're a big fan of Macross like I am, that's still a must-buy. That's not that much. I mean, I've paid more for figures than that. So for something that embodies 30 years of Macross, got to freaking get. Okay, well, let's talk about not only just a game that came out, but a game console that just released actually today in the States. We're talking about Nintendo's Wii U. Can I give you a first-hand account of how it plays? I can give you an account of the demo kiosk that I played at E3 2 years ago, but I haven't picked one up yet. If I can find one for a decent price on Black Friday, I may pick it up myself, but right now, I do not have a Wii U, but I've been reading all online about the games, how it actually handles with the actual controller, and the little problems they've been having with the actual online bit of the Miiverse, as they call it. First up, when you buy the console and you take it home and set it up, you are instantly brought up a screen that says, you must download this day one update. This day one update is 5 gigs. It takes an hour to download. So if you don't want to do that, all you can do is create with me and play disc-based games. If you want to do anything else, add friends, go online, play, go into the virtual console, anything like that, you have to download this first, and it takes a bloody hour. Usually if you have a big update like that, you should have that in the firmware when it's shipped, not after. So, yeah, I'm looking at some of these reviews online. They're saying the controller feels perfect. The way people felt when they initially used the original Wii controllers, it's near that level, but just not. It's just under that. They said having a large screen on your controller connected to the big screen TV. They said obviously it's a big boy Nintendo 3DS, but they're saying it works great. It's very smooth. The frame rate is great. People are giving it 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. When they're talking about the games, so they're saying some like the new Nintendo Brothers, or was it new Super Mario Brothers Wii U or something like that. That's basically a rehash. You can skip that if you really wanted to. But they are saying some of the actual new titles like Zombie U are fantastic, absolutely fantastic in terms of how smooth the gameplay is, how it works well between the actual controller and your TV. There's also party games out there like Nintendo Land, which they say, yeah, it's basically Wii Sports, maybe a little more than that. Of course, there's the party game Rabbids Land you can get. Aside from that, they're saying it's pretty solid. Now, Nintendo, I believe, is announcing that they're going to have more than enough consoles to be shipped over to the States for the entire holiday season. I read reports online of people who spent, hours in line for the midnight release and then came back the next day to buy some more games and found out they still had more Wii U's in stock. It was like, why did I spend all night in line for it in the first place? So, one beef that I've heard that a lot of people are pissed off is the virtual console for Wii games. They essentially put the entire original Wii user interface in the Wii U. So if you want to actually play Wii games, you have to go to the Wii, the original Wii interface, which you can only use a classic Wii mode. You can't even use the big, gamepad controller. That's not their beef, though. Their beef is that while the Wii U can play 1080p games and look stunning, you would think that a standard thing nowadays, if you have old school games, is you automatically up-res them to, the best quality that your TV can handle. It doesn't. So you have a 1080p TV and you're playing Zombie U and Rabbids Land and whatnot, and it looks fantastic. And then you pop in your classic Wii game, and it looks like crap. It's, why? Why? You could have, that would have been so easy, Nintendo. Put it this way. There is an emulator you can get online called Dolphin that will emulate the original Wii games, and it'll upscale it as high as you freaking want, up to 4K I've seen online, and it looks amazing. People who actually have a MacBook Pro with the Retina display, and they can up-res it to as high as that thing can go. Yeah. And yet the official update to the Wii console can't do that. Yeah. Oh, well. It is what it is. Okay, well, let me wrap things up with actually a little bit of a sale that I've come across for you guys. Especially you guys who have iOS devices like iPhone, iPad, iPod, and all that jazz. Namco Bandai decided to create a little pre-Black Friday sale that's going on this weekend. It ends tomorrow, so you can pick stuff up tonight, I think tomorrow morning. But I believe almost every single one of their games they have for iOS devices is on sale at a ridiculously cheap price. Like Pac-Man Championship Edition, Rally X Rumble, Katamari Damacy, Time Crisis Second Strike. They're between 99 cents to $2.99. Usually these games are horrifically expensive. Like, look at Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur looks amazing on iOS. It is normally $15. It is now $6.99 for this weekend. So I've already picked up a few of these for my iPad just because. I can get 4 or 5 games for 99 cents a pop. Yeah, that should keep me plenty busy when I'm in line at Black Friday. So they'll let you guys know. Go on the App Store, look under Namco Bandai, and everything. All their games is, either 99 cents or heavily discounted. So go check that out. Android, no. Unfortunately, this sale is only for iOS devices. Here's my thing, though. I'm guessing probably within the next couple of days, they'll announce the same thing for their Android games. I mean, it would only be fair. But to wrap this up, as I always do, is what we're watching. I just finally saw Brave last night for the first time. It was at the local dollar theater, so I paid like $2 to go see it. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Its story is nowhere near as memorable as other Pixar outings. It feels like a strong Pixar contender that needed a little more time to gestate, to try to get better. But man, the graphics, the visuals are just outstanding. And I'm going to sneeze, so... what I did was, as soon as I got home, I looked online. I'm like, okay, I know it's coming out on Blu-ray soon. Wait, it's on Blu-ray already? Sweet! You can find it on Amazon for $25. It's the 5-disc Blu-ray special edition. So, yeah, come next check, I think I'll splurge a little bit to get that. It's definitely worth an add to your Blu-ray collection if you haven't picked it up already. Just been watching some other anime. I caught up on Sword Art Online episode 20 last night. Moved the story along a little bit. Great action sequence. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. But the thing I've been watching most over the past 2 days was actually the BattleNet World Championships held in Shanghai this year. So it's taking place during the day in Shanghai, which means they didn't start until like 10 o'clock p.m. West Coast. So I was watching a little bit of the World of Warcraft fights, but as much as I enjoy playing World of Warcraft myself, when it comes to watching these, the esports, I really enjoy watching StarCraft 2. And the final bout didn't happen until I think 2 o'clock in the morning, so I was up to like 4 watching this. And it was fantastic. I was watching Parting just beat the crap out of everybody, and took the final game, which was the best first one up to 4 games, and it was 4-2. So it was a great game all around. It was enjoyable. I was watching Toonami in the background as well. I know they finished Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood last night, and then they went on to Cowboy Bebop. So it'll be interesting to see if Toonami actually replaces Fullmetal Alchemist with something new for next week, or will they just do what they've classically done, which was just start at episode 1 again. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's right, Eureka 7, and I want to say not Monica, maybe Bodacious Space Pirates. I believe those 2. I can find out real quick for you guys on the news. No, it's Sacred 7. Sacred 7 and Eureka 7 this weekend are leaving, I believe, after next weekend. So, actually, no. Yeah, next weekend. Sunday, November 25th is the last day. So, if you guys want to check those out and you haven't seen them yet, do so. Get a Crunchyroll account, go watch it. But that's a bit for everything I've been watching. I haven't done too much other than just work on stuff for the websites. I mean, plural websites. So, that's it for this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for just hanging out with us, and it's always fun that you guys jump on. I'm going to try to catch up more on putting these things on YouTube, so the moment that happens, I'll let you guys know and spread that word around. We also have work on a couple new websites. We also have the new review show. I believe it was Japan Junkie that gave an idea for a name. If you guys also have ideas, please shoot me a message on Facebook or Twitter, OtakuLife Jason, and we might use it. We might give you some sort of prize. I have plenty of stuff here you guys would probably enjoy. But that's about it. Thank you guys very much. Stay tuned on Wednesday. We're going to have another episode of Anna Break, and there's some cool stuff to talk about that I left out of this episode just so we can talk about it then. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much, and catch you next time. Thank you.